Hello guys, this video is devoted to Moog Grandmother. I'm sure you all love the synth, it sounds great. It has everything we need on its front panel. However, there are some things that are hidden inside the menus. I'm sure most of you know how to access them. You should enter this global settings mode, and with the combination of the keys you choose parameters, values, and then close this mode and have everything set. I have mixed impression about this process. First of all, I'm thankful that Grandmother can do more than the front panel suggests. But on the other hand, this process with the keys and these values is quite difficult, and it's impossible to remember all these values. Moreover, Grandmother gets new updates and we get new functions that we have to remember, these new parameters, new values. Also, some parameters can't be accessed with these menus. You can change some parameters only with MIDI. So you have to have some third-party device, a computer or MIDI controller to send these MIDI messages to change parameters. In most situations, you don't have to change these parameters quite often. However, there are some of them that should be changed from a preset to preset. For example, trigger mode, single trigger or multi-trigger. I like how Legato Glide is set with the front panel. You should just hold Shift, then turn Glide, and with this combination you turn on and off Glide Legato mode. I wish trigger mode could be set something like this, for example, Shift plus Sustain or anything else. However, to change trigger mode from single to multi, you have to enter these menus. To my taste, trigger mode is very important in the monophonic timbres for basses, leads. It influences great articulation and performance, so you have to change it quite often from one preset to another one. And this menu system is an obstacle to change trigger mode easily and quickly. Some of these hidden parameters should be changed not only from one preset to another one, but they should be changed during your performance. For example, Arp Gate or swing amount. You may know that I have created a collection of Grandmother presets, and inside each preset I made a note about trigger mode, Legato Glide mode, Arp Gate and swing amount. And unfortunately, again, you can't change these parameters from the front panel. But great news, I'll try to ease your workflow with Grandmother with the things I've prepared for this video. So, as far as some performance settings can be controlled via MIDI, it's great to prepare some control panel with these MIDI CC's numbers in advance, so you can easily use them in future performances. And I created this control panel inside Ableton Live. It's a Max for Live third-party device called MIDI Controls, and you should put it on a MIDI channel, set the routing, Grandmother, your MIDI channel, and here you see an empty slot. Now you can enter MIDI CC values, for example, 94, 95, you can title it, and then by tweaking this knob, you will send MIDI control messages to your Grandmother. Inside this device, you can add as many controls as you want. If 8 is not enough for you, you may add in a row as many devices as you need. And then these devices will send their own numbers to your Grandmother. Also, you don't have to create these devices from scratch every time. You can do it one time and then save it as a preset. Actually, this is what I did. I explored all the parameters Grandmother can receive via MIDI, grouped these parameters into 3 devices, and now I'm sharing them with you. Here how they look like. There are 3 devices. The first one is devoted to oscillators controls. Here you can change oscillator's octaves, oscillator to frequency, and turn on and off sync. You can change mod amount and mod rate. Next is devoted to arpeggio and sequencer. You can change arp rate, you can change arp division if you have external clock. You can change arp gate, this is what I was talking about. You can change swing amount, the direction that is available from the front panel, octave and sequencer selection, and play and stop button. And the third one is devoted to trigger and glide modes. You can see glide time, legato glide on and off, gated glide, glide type, exponential or linear. Trigger mode, very important, single and multi, and local control on and off. If you don't know what it is, you can turn on and off your keyboard. So you can use just a MIDI keyboard that sends messages to your computer or whatever, but it doesn't send messages to the synth engine. So this is local control. Let's see how they work. This is Oscillator 1, Oscillator 2. Frequency, mod amount, and rate. Let's check the arpeggio settings. So you see how the rate can be changed. Gates, swing, octaves, let's check out trigger mode, very important for me, single or multi. So you can see it's now in a single mode, and now it's in multi mode. There's also a curious thing about arpeggio rate range. When Grandmother uses its internal clock, the rate range is quite narrow. Let me show you. So this is the middle position, the lowest one. It's not very slow if you want to try to make some generative patches. And the highest position. And again, this is not really fast. But when Grandmother uses the external clock, the range gets way wider. Let me show you. Now I'll send the clock from my computer and we will compare the results. This is kind of middle position. Let's get faster. This is really fast. And in the lowest position, I don't know, we have to wait maybe half of a minute to just get one beat. The rate gets really slow. And we couldn't get this range from the internal clock. First I thought that my Grandmother has some issues. I contacted people on Facebook. I also contacted Moog tech support and asked them about this process. And the answer was that everything's alright. This is a normal behavior for Grandmother. With internal clock the range is narrow, with external clock the range is wide. I can't say I'm happy with this answer. To my taste it's quite strange. I wish the rate were narrow in both internal clock and external clock. But good news is that with these control panels you can change the rate of your arpeggio in a wider range, even if the clock is internal. Let me show you. So we have internal clock. I'll run the arpeggio. You see the clock, the sound isn't really fast. But when I'll try to change this rate with the MIDI, you'll see that the range gets wider. And again, the clock was internal. This is strange that from the front panel you can't get a wide range of arpeggio, but with MIDI you can do it. It's strange for me, but at the moment this is the solution to this issue. I hope in the future updates this will be fixed. Also, you may ask me why I added some parameters to these panels that are available from the front panel, for example, oscillator frequency controls or octave controls, mod amount, mod rate, or etc. But this is the topic for my next video, so please stay tuned. Obviously, you may control these parameters with your mouse. Of course, you may use an external MIDI controller. You may manually MIDI learn these knobs to your external device. But I will recommend you to use some MIDI controllers that have good control surface scripts for Ableton Live. They are obviously Ableton Push. Also, I recommend Akai APC 40 or some controllers by Innovation. With these devices that have good control surface script, you don't have to map anything manually. You just have to select the device with your mouse or with the device itself, and all the knobs are mapped to your device automatically. So that's why I recommend them. All these 3 presets will be available for free download. After the download, you have to put these devices into your Ableton Live user library. Let me show you how to do it. So this is the folder with the 3 presets. Then just select user library. I have a folder Max MIDI effect, and then just drag and drop this folder here. Now you have all these 3 presets inside your user library. Next time just put them on your MIDI channel and you have everything set to your grandmother. Also, the download pack will include this particular Ableton Live project with several tracks that I have prepared. First is grandmother monitor track. Here you can see 2 tuners. The first one shows the shifts in tuning in cents and the second one in hertz. You can see a spectrum here and utility device to change the volume of your incoming signal. The second track is for recording, nothing is here. Then this is the MIDI out track with all 3 devices. You just have to change audio routing and MIDI routing according to your audio interface or MIDI channel of your grandmother. Then just save the changes. The fourth track, this won't be here, is just a simple drum rack with synthesized drums for how they sound like. So you may use these drums for quick jams, track ideas, not to add anything. So you just open this project, you can save it as a template. You open it and you have everything you need right in front of you, no additional settings, and so on and so forth, and just use it. Also, I have prepared 4 return tracks, 2 with reverbs, and 2 with delays. You can combine them, of course, as you wish. Again, you don't have to put space effects, at least at the very first stages. So of course, you can then change everything you need. But again, from the very beginning, you have everything you need to start working with grandmother. I want to mention and say thank you to the developer of these Max Live devices. Here his webpage, it's called killihu. I'm sorry if I pronounce it incorrect. Here you can download this Max Live device, an empty device without my presets. Also, I recommend to check this website because there are many interesting and useful tools and devices for your Ableton Live. There are some skins, some additional tools, devices. So I recommend you to spend some time and explore what is suggested here. I predict questions and requests about whether I have something like this for Cubase, Pro Tools, Studio One, Logic users. And I'm sorry, but my answer is no, because I'm Ableton Live user, I don't use any other DAWs. You have to explore this topic by yourself. I'm sorry. I'm sure there are some maybe third-party VST MIDI plugins that can do these simple things to enter MIDI control number and send it to external device. But great news is for everybody. You can send these MIDI messages without your computer, but with a standalone MIDI controller and go completely DAWless. As an example, I'm going to use Arturia Beatstep Pro. I think it's great for these tasks. Why it's great? Because it has its own dedicated application where you can set everything on this device. And what we need here, we need to assign MIDI control numbers to these knobs and then connect with the MIDI cable Beatstep Pro and Grandmother and send these messages. So let me show you how it's performed on Beatstep in this application. So this is our device, the picture of the front panel, and the workflow is very easy. You just select the knob, number 1, and then you select MIDI control number. That's all. Then next knob, next knob. After the work is done, you just have to store to, and the settings go to the device. Then you select the project that you've set, connect MIDI out to MIDI in of your Grandmother. Don't forget to select MIDI channel according to your Grandmother MIDI channel. And that's all. Let's try to work with Grandmother and Beatstep without the computer. So you can see, I can change the rate. Gate. Swing amount. And so on and so forth. So you can do just the same things I've showed you in Ableton Live, but with external controller. Most of the standalone controllers, if not all, can be easily set like this. You just assign MIDI control number to its controllers and then send them to Grandmother. And if you have this MIDI controller in Grandmother, you can go completely Dawless if you don't like these computers, Ableton Live or whatever. Just use these things. You can just copy the values from these devices. Here you can see all of them. I just put pause on this video and put the values to your MIDI device. So you're welcome to download this Ableton Live project with all these 3 control panel presets, devices. And if you find this content useful, please interact with this video with your comments, likes, subscriptions. So other Grandmother users will have greater chances to find this video on YouTube. Also, if you are new to my channel, you may not know that I have a collection of presets for Grandmother. So if you're interested in new timbres for a synth, please check out my presets. I'll put the link below. Okay, that's all for today. I hope to see you in my next videos. Goodbye and see you later.